O'clock. It is time for Legal Lane. That's the name of this segment, hosted by Vanessa Lane Jennings. She is in the studio to answer your questions about the law. Maybe you have a speeding ticket. Maybe you were arrested. Maybe you're getting divorced or doing something legal with your property or something of that nature. That's why we want you to call for the answers to those questions. Vanessa is here to answer your questions, and Vanessa is an attorney here in Ocala focusing on I guess every aspect of law. There are probably some exceptions to that. Well, let me put you on the picture here. You're looking beautiful today.
Oh, thank
Those
you.
colors become you. I like that.
Thank you.
Do you like that word
Jones?
become? I like that word when like you tell a lady, oh, that dress becomes you.
I think it's very sophisticated.
I like that
the
word become. Well, because it does. Clothing becomes a person. Like if I were to buy Robin a shirt like from the store, it would just look like a shirt until she put it on. Then it became her.
I like it.
Right?
I'm down with this. I like this.
Yeah. Those are nice colors for you, though.
Thank you. The earth tony and a little bit of blue.
Very
and then,
nice.
And then random other colors.
Just don't do the weather.
No.
Did you see that video of the lady who did the
did.
weather? Yeah.
That would be my luck. All of a sudden, I was the United States.
But I think though that would be a new fad, don't you? If people started wearing like temperatures on their clothing.
Go back to like the 1980s where they had the hypercolor T-shirts where you used to put your handprint on it to change colors.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember those?
No, I don't remember that.
those, yeah.
Is that like the mood ring?
It was like a mood ring, but it was T-shirts, and they were called hypercolor T-shirts. And there'd be like pink, and then you put your hand on it, and it turned purple. And it would be a purple in the shape of a hand.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Wow. And how long did it stay on there? Like a bruise? It looked like a bruise?
No, bruises stay on for a while.
Okay.
This was more like 2 minutes. So you kept having to touch the shirt.
Give people an excuse to touch each other.
Probably so.
So you
but
saw-
I was only like 5, so I don't.
So
always good fun.
you saw the video with the woman meteorologist,
Yes.
and you saw what the man did. He gave her his jacket.
Right, which is a polite thing to do.
It's a polite thing to do, but did you see how much touchy-feely he was with her?
Sometimes
I said to Robin.
politeness goes out the window at
Yeah.
times.
Right. I said if that was a man meteorologist, A, he wouldn't have given the jacket at all. B, he would have handed it to him. He wouldn't have gotten behind him and putting it on and made sure it was closed nice. He was just touching her as much as he could get away with.
Or he was just being overly friendly and concerned.
Exactly.
And he was making sure that she was protected in every single way humanly possible.
Let's parlay that into a legal question.
Okay.
Have you had any cases, I know you can't talk about specific cases, but have you had cases, sexual harassment on the workplace, where it was maybe somebody said something and really didn't do anything?
Yes, but
Really?
before I went out on my own, there was about a 6 to 8 month period where I worked at a plaintiff's law firm that did sexual harassment. So
That was their specialty?
that was my specialty. They gave me all the sexual harassment cases.
So have you ever seen one and you thought to yourself, now this is a man asking this question,
Okay.
where you said, this is just a get-rich-quick scheme for this lady. This guy didn't do anything unusual.
Maybe not in that vernacular, but yes, I've thought that. Not necessarily that it was she's doing it to get money out of it. I believe that she thought she was actually insulted, and she could, but it was based on her standard. But would a reasonable person actually think that she was being harassed?
Okay.
Like she was a very sensitive person.
Because there was a segment that Ellen DeGeneres did on her show, and it was kind of a fun game, and she showed clips from she read dialogue, and she had the audience guess, is this dialogue from a sexual harassment educational video
Okay.
for like the workplace, or from a late night TV show? Okay. And so the dialogue,
It could be one and the same.
dialogue I remembered was a guy walks into the kitchen, the woman is making a salad, and he says to her, boy, you sure handled that cucumber nicely. Okay. And the audience is supposed to guess, is that a sexual harassment video, or is it, a late night movie? And it turned out it was a sexual harassment video.
Oh, my
So I thought, wow, I'm never saying you handle that cucumber nicely.
And it could have been made 100%, they could have been chefs, and she could have legitimately been handling it nicely.
I know.
You never know.
I know, but I'm not saying it. We have to be careful as guys. You can say anything. And women can say anything. It doesn't matter, because we don't get offended by anything. We're not harassed by anything sexual, I don't think. Are we?
I think it's just different cultural standards.
I think so, because if you're working in a business like an assisted living facility and you're, friendly with each other, but if the man kind of pats the woman on the shoulder and says, "Oh, you're doing a good job," and things like that.
See, what's
you
at
know,
the
she
shoulder?
could
Was
say
he like
sexual
reaching
harassment.
around?
Yeah, but if she did the same thing to the guy and was just kind of like touching his back or something,
He would be happy.
exactly. That's what Larry says too. It's like, boy, there sure is a double standard. Would anybody do that?
But are they hard to win, those cases?
Well, they're harassment in the workplace is just a different animal. It's not treated like a normal case where you can just go to court and sue. You have to actually go to the EEOC and file paperwork with them, or the Florida Human Rights Commission and file paperwork with them saying, was this person harassed? And it's actually this quasi-judicial body that makes the decision, yes, there was a harassment, no, there wasn't, or we don't know. Very, very few are blatant, yes, there was harassment, be it sexual, racial, national origin. They very rarely come out and say, yes, 100% there was harassment. It does happen. I've had a couple of those cases. It's just few or far in between. Most of them are undecided. And then once you get that, you're able to go and take it to a jury and see what a jury says.
And some workplaces are different, like assisted living facilities, because you're hands-on all the time with the patients and everything, and you can't help but get close to them, and you have like this emotional bond as opposed to someone that works in an accounting office. So does the place where a person work, is that taken into account too?
Well, it's the intent behind it. So if you're to a degree.
Oh, man.
So if you're in an assisted living facility, you're going to be touching necessarily some of the people you're working with to help them move. You're moving people, and there's going to be elbows going places. Was it an accident, or was that hand that just grazed wherever it was grazing? Was that an intentional? Were you doing it for a sexual purpose? And if you were, then that's treated differently than an accidental bumper.
Wow.
Sponge baths are very popular.
So I've been told.
Yeah.
So I've been told.
Yeah. So I had a story because I was an activities director at an assisted living facility for 2.5, 3 years, something like that. All right. And so let me tell you a story. There was a woman, and she had one leg, and she was stuck on the toilet. And I'm a big, strong guy.
Okay.
And the nurses couldn't get her off the toilet. And so they said to me, "Would you mind coming in and helping lift her off the toilet?" The woman was not a dementia patient. She was of sound mind, if you know what I mean. So she was so embarrassed. And I had to say, okay, I am not looking down. I am looking up at the ceiling. The nurses are guiding me to you. And I'm going to put my hands under your arms, and I'm just going to lift you. And then the nurses will take care of everything. But I promise you, I'm not looking at anything. Thank goodness nothing ever came of that. But I always thought to myself, what if she said this guy shouldn't have been in the room, at all? But they were stuck between, what was that?
A rock and a hard place.
Yeah. They didn't know what to do, and she was really stuck.
Right, that's a necessity or an emergency situation. So
Yeah, and I wasn't the medical person. I was the guy playing bingo.
fair enough.
Yeah. Well, thank gosh nothing ever happened with that one. So.
Yeah.
So how's your week been?
It's been a good week. There's been lots of depositions and mediations going on this week, so it was fairly quiet in the office.
Do people come to you for depositions, or do you go to them?
We normally do them. I normally use Owen and Associates, so that's normally where I am. But you can go anywhere. They can come. You could have the court reporter come to you. You can go to the court reporter's office. You can go to the other attorney's office.
Do they bring their machine, or do you audio tape them when they give a deposition?
They bring their machine and they audio tape it.
Oh, okay.
We'll take a little break. If you have a question for Vanessa, this is a great time to call. We got a good 15 minutes left in the program. The number is 622-9622. It looks like we have about a 2.5 minute break. We'll be right back in about 2.5 minutes. This is The Source, WOCA.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For Friday, times of clouds and sunshine with a high of 78 at the coast, 84 inland. Partly cloudy Friday night, low 59 inland, 66 along the coast. For Saturday, morning clouds and a shower, then some sunshine, high 79 to 83. On Sunday, partly sunny with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm in the area during the afternoon hours, high 79 to 83. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
We're saving thousands with Robert Palmer.
So rule number one is always shop around. Always shop around. If you're trying to get a mortgage, if you're trying to get the best credit card, if you're looking at student loans, cell phone bills, you name it, rule number one is always shop around. Always shop around.
That's rule number one, just one more vital part of fighting back to stop being a financial zombie. Yes, you can take the mystery out of the complicated world of finances. Take charge when it comes to your money. Listen in on The Source, 96.3 FM and 1370 AM, Saturdays at 12:05.
Since 1916, a lot of independent agents have recommended auto owners insurance, and a lot of parents have taken that recommendation to heart. So have a lot of their children, and grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. As we celebrate our first 100 years, Auto Owners Insurance thanks all those who have put their trust in us, and all the generations who will.
Call George Mangan Insurance in Ocala today, 352-732-3191.
Have you heard of HyperDirectory? When looking for local businesses, go to hyper.directory. No need for www, no need for .com, just hyper.directory. Connecting customers to local companies when it matters most. HyperDirectory is your local business directory partnered with the Ocala Chamber and Economic Partnership to bring you trusted local businesses. Keeping Ocala local. Use hyper.directory. No www, not even .com, just hyper.directory. Connecting customers to businesses when it matters most.
12 minutes before 11 o'clock. Let's return to Legal Lane with your host, Vanessa Lane Jennings. If you'd like to call Vanessa, please call. Don't worry about interrupting what we're talking about because your questions are important to us. We will learn from the answer that Vanessa gives you. The phone number is 622-9622 if you're out of the area. And I do see some people watching online. Thank you for doing that. If you're out of the area code is 352. So the full number, 352-622-9622. Vanessa looking sharp in that. I like that look. That's a nice color for you. Are you Irish? You got the Irish kind of thing?
Somewhere way down the line.
So do you do the St. Patrick's Day thing?
Not really.
No? So you're not going to
I go to the Cup of the Irish and I have a couple Guinness.
Oh, do you?
That's about as...
A Guinness?
Absolutely.
The bubbles in Guinness go down?
I love Guinness.
Did you know the bubbles go down?
They do. The nitrites? Or
So you know the science behind it. It's an interesting...
She's smart.
She's an attorney.
She's an attorney.
I think that has nothing to do with my attorney skills. That's just my drinking skills. Those are completely different.
I've got a question about paralegals. I have met a lady. She was a paralegal for 20-some years, and then she opened up a document company.
A doc prep company.
Right,
yes.
but she can't be a paralegal anymore. She said once you own a company that does the documents for anything, divorces or whatever, then she can't be a paralegal anymore.
Well, she is being a paralegal because that's a paralegal's job because she's filling in the blanks for the doc prep stuff. But I believe what she's saying is just because of conflict of interest, because she's going to have her own clients. So she, like, for instance, she does divorces. If she's doing her own divorces and she was working as a paralegal in another firm, she would be conflicted out of cases if the other side came in to retain that law firm.
Oh, I see. Okay, that makes sense to me. So those document companies, they're strictly legal and everything to go. If you don't have enough money for an attorney, you would go there and they
Or
would
if it's
take care of
really,
it.
absolutely. Or if they're really simple cases. There's some people who come to me and then I refer them. I have a document prep company that I refer to.
Oh, really?
Yes, because I mean, they want something that's complete. Everyone's in agreement. It's going to be very, very simple, and they don't have a whole lot of money, and they're not going to be able to afford thousands of dollars for an attorney, and they're not fighting over anything. They have no kids, they have no assets, everything's kind of done, and they just want it quick, painless, and simple. Then I have someone to refer them to.
Well, that shows you have scruples because you really care.
Well, I mean, I'm here to help someone fight the good fight. Yeah. Not necessarily take all their money.
Have you ever played the game of Scruples? Have you ever played this game?
I have not.
Do you know it? Do you know how it works?
I do not. So, I don't even know if I've heard of it before.
Okay, it's a game. It's a board game, and
Okay.
I'll give you a Scruples kind of a question,
I'm now nervous. Okay.
And I'm not really going to ask one right now.
Okay, good.
but then you would answer it. But before you answer it, all the other players, try to decide how you'll answer it, and we get the points when we guess you right, and then it's our turn to do it. So that's how you play that game.
That is amazing. I now need to go play this game because I purposely would change my answer what no one would ever guess.
Oh, wow.
That's right. Well, and we're supposed to guess if you would do that. That's part of the game too. Yeah, yeah. We're supposed to. Well, I think she's going to lie, so I'm going to put this on here. Yeah, yeah. It's almost like what's it called? That Madonna game. Truth or Dare? Something
Yes,
like that.
Truth or Dare, yeah.
Did you see the story about the family, more than one family, I believe, in Pennsylvania? They got like a $4 million lawsuit, won a $4 million lawsuit, I think, something like that, because the drilling, the fracking had wrecked their well, their water supply.
No, I did not see that.
Did you hear that? Okay, let me see if I can find it. Because that seems like a lot of money to fix a well. $4 million.
Yeah, but did any of it get into their supply, and did they drink any of the...
It must have, right?
The fracking water.
Let me see. Fracking.
Whatever the byproduct of fracking is.
Pennsylvania. Fracking Pennsylvania. That's a funny way to say it, huh? Pennsylvania families win $4.2 million damages in fracking. It's a Reuters story. A jury ruled yesterday that Cabot Oil and Gas must pay more than $4.2 million in damages to two families in northeastern Pennsylvania who said the company's fracking operations contaminated their groundwater. How about that? Those people are going away happy, huh?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Because who knows what's wrong? Because if you get that much money, how is there anything wrong with any of them? That would be my first question.
With them?
Is there any medical issues? Is there
I see. Yeah.
You know, grandma's losing her hair, breaking out in spots.
And you have to be on top of all of that, because when a person comes to you with any kind of a lawsuit, you have to maybe play the devil's advocate to make sure that they're telling the truth and to make sure that they really are genuine in what they're asking for.
You always do that, but sometimes it's hard. Mm-hmm. Some people are very good at hiding what their true emotions or motives are in a case. But that's the whole point, is when someone sits with me, I'm always looking at the other side. Mm-hmm. You know, how would I prosecute this case, or how would I, go against it if it was a family case?
What's interesting is there's only two families here, and you would think that fracking would have affected the whole community. So
is it rural? Is it a rural area?
I don't know. It's a town I never heard of. Dimock, D-I-M-O-C-K. Do you know Pennsylvania at all?
I do not know Pennsylvania at all, so I am not helpful in this.
So we've had legislators in Florida trying to decide whether or not we should allow fracking in this state.
Correct.
Okay, so let's just say, for the sake of this show, that a fracking company comes in and ruins Silver Springs. They bust something open and now it's just a dry gully. Wouldn't that be sad, first of all?
Very sad.
Well, that's very sad, because doesn't that feed into almost all the other springs and lakes and because it's
it feeds into the Ocklawaha, right?
Right, which feeds into something else, which feeds into something. I think they're all connected.
But it's not the only.
Side.
But it's not the only one that feeds.
Okay.
Okay, so it would be one of many.
But it would contaminate them.
It's our favorite one.
Of course.
Right? So if it does that, it might affect our water. So taking that to a different level, legal-wise, there might be a, what do you call it when you sue on behalf of a whole town?
Class action.
Class action. So you sue on behalf of a whole town and you win. Let's say you win $4.2 million. Okay, now how many citizens in Marion County? They each get a piece of that?
Well, no, they'd have to join the class. Everyone who is a resident of Marion County and who would qualify as the class, because there'd be things that would qualify you as a class member.
Okay.
Then you fill out haven't you gotten things in the mail that says...
Yeah, I never know what to do with them.
And then you fill them out to determine whether or not you're going to be a member of the class. And then what they do is you're rated. They have whole teams who do that.
And then if you win, if the case wins in your favor, you get 75 cents.
Sometimes. I have family members who've gotten thousands and thousands of dollars.
Oh, really?
Extended family members. But yeah, because they bought a defective product. Their product, nothing happened severely to them, so they threw it away. But when the class gets, $100 million, and then everyone, it gets all divided up, depending on where you fall.
Oh, okay. So nobody asks you, nobody says to you, were you harmed in any way by this?
Well, it's on part of the application to be part of the class. Is how you were harmed, what happened, when did you buy it, what happened to it.
Okay. And when somebody says punitive damages, who decides that?
The jury. Because those are punishment damages.
Do you always add that to a case like that?
Florida doesn't like punitive damages, so it depends on...
Florida doesn't?
No, Florida is anti-punitive damages.
Oh, really?
The legislator is, anyway.
Because?
They don't want a lot of greedy hands.
Oh.
Because it opens up a lot of cans of worms.
Yeah. Well, when you make money easy to get your hands on it, it does open worm cans, right?
Yeah, and they don't like worm cans.
There's a law now on the governor's desk in California about raising the smoking age from 18 to 21. It's passed all of the branches, and now it's waiting for him to sign it or veto it. If that law is passed and people are under 21 and they're smokers, is there something they can do about that?
Well, that goes back to, remember when they changed the drinking age? Because the drinking age at one point in time was 18, and they changed it to 21. So then there was that period where people who last week, they were able to do it. This week, they're not able to do it.
So they wouldn't really be able to sue or anything like that?
Well, it depends on, no.
Yeah.
What was the alimony story in Florida that was earlier this week? Do you remember that one? Yeah. The change in alimony laws that they're signing like right now or something?
It's going through the process. And tantamount to that, like attached to it, they're also doing the 50-50 custody, which is also going through the process as well.
So, and the one woman who was opposed to it said it was an anti-woman bill. Do you agree with that?
My many years of women's studies classes and my second wave feminist nature says no, because that's always saying that the woman always makes less, and I would never want to say. I mean, that's what you're saying when you say that.
Right. No, I'm not saying it.
No, I know. But when you say it in that stance,
right.
It's I would say maybe an anti-homemaker law, because a homemaker could be male or female.
Okay.
Where not necessarily it's against women.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think those people that are saying that are nuts.
I don't like to classify like that, but...
You have to be careful. See, we do radio. We don't have to be careful.
Robin will tell you exactly what she thinks.
You wouldn't want me working for you.
Maybe I do. Maybe we need the fresh breath of air going through there.
Does your brain hurt when you come in here? Do we ask too many questions?
Absolutely not.
No. Okay. Good. Do you like the questions? I mean, do you like?
Absolutely. It's my favorite part of the week.
People. I mean, in general, when people. I mean, do you go to a party and wish people would stop asking illegal questions? Do you wish people would ask you about your garden? Do you have a garden?
I do not have a garden.
Do you want one?
I do not want one. I say that with the full knowledge that I've had a garden in my life. And I killed everything in it except for the pineapple.
Oh, no.
Those I couldn't kill. I tried. And not tried. I didn't even water them when I gave up on the garden. They just thrived.
The one thing I think we benefit from as an audience when we have hosts with an expert point of view on anything is we get to know you, and we get to therefore learn whether we want to trust you or not. And I think that's what you're doing. What you're establishing here for this listenership is trusting you and getting to know who you are. So we appreciate you doing that. It's kind of brave to do that.
Well, I enjoy it.
To sit here and do this, yeah.
And I hope everyone is trusting, because this is what I like doing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure that's why people call the mechanics we have on, the home repair guy we have on, Jim George for cable TV, and now Vanessa Lane Jennings. Vanessa, what is your phone number?
My phone number is area code 352-804-0092.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Studios. This is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen.